It's better than the $500 you're going to
Entertainment
spend.
business.
Writing, producing,
25.
acting.
Hi, and welcome back to the Casting Couch. I'm your host, Katie Seeley.
And I am your co-host, Todd Stroik, and we are really excited today. We've got a really great guest on. He is doing so many things out here in LA, so much. He's a producer. He's now an executive in charge of getting star names for films. He's also a working actor. So you as an audience should really be able to relate to this guy, right?
If you haven't heard his name yet, you will very soon.
Yes.
Like in seconds.
Right. He's got a couple hit films that are out in the last year. Sharknado, Sharknado 2. I don't know. Do you know what those are? They've become this huge phenom, right? Okay, here he is, Mr. Gerald Webb. There you go. Hey, buddy. Thank you
for
so
having me,
much.
Thank you for being here.
Pleasure to
Such
meet
an
you.
honor to have you on the show today.
Again, thank you for having me. It's
You're
an honor to be here.
welcome. Absolutely. Okay, so you have a really great story, I understand, of how you actually got your foot in the door, going from an actor into casting and moving up the ladder. Can you tell us that?
Yeah, I mean, it all started with a director. I had worked with a director on a film, and it was a low-budget, non-union, 8-day shoot. Crafty was water and red vines. I mean, it was
See, I told you, don't get those red vines.
as bare bones as you can get. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody starts someplace. And I realized this director, his father is like a legendary B-movie director. His father's done 200 films. And this was his first feature film, and his dad came up with like $30,000 and said, go make a movie, son. And it was the biggest thing in the world to him. And we had like some actors that were on set that were almost like divas. And it's like, guys, you don't get what this is. So my character was a smart ass. So every time they would do something in the middle of a scene to screw it up, I would make a smart ass comment to move the scene forward,
Right.
so that we could get back where we needed to be. And half the crew would laugh, and the director would laugh, and then they'd yell cut, and he'd tell them, don't miss your mark or don't do this. And he'd say, after like the first day, he's like, Gerald, say whatever you want. You're so funny, you know. And he and I just really hit it off. And I realized that this was the most important thing in the world to him. Not only his first film, but living up to his father's legacy. And I said to him, I pulled him aside on like day 3, and I was like, listen, I don't care what these kids do. Whatever you need me to do, let me know. I'm here to help you. And we just, bonded and hit it off. Fast forward a bunch of years, probably about a year and a half, he's doing a movie for The Asylum.
Okay.
And
What's The Asylum?
The Asylum is a production company. They're a production company who produced Sharknado, Sharknado 2, and they've actually done 200 films over about 16, 17 years.
Oh, that is amazing.
Quietly, and now all of a sudden with Sharknado, we're breaking out as this big thing, but they've been around for a long time. So he was directing a film for them, and he didn't really see eye to eye with the person they had doing the casting. So he said, hey, I trust you, I trust your judgment. Can you come in when I can't be there and just make sure that I'm getting good people? So I helped out with the casting on that film, and by the time we got done that film, the producers of the film said, hey, we got another movie starting in like 4 weeks. Can you cast it for me? And I was like, yeah, I guess.
Now, had you cast before that, or?
I hadn't.
Okay.
But I was prolific about my preparation as an actor, and I studied all the time, and I knew script analysis, and I really embraced trying to be a thespian in my life. So a lot of those skills directly transferred over.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure I was not as good at it then as I am now. I've made plenty of mistakes.
As we all do.
Exactly.
No one's perfect.
So I cast their next movie, and then that turned into another movie, and now I've done close to 100 movies for that company and another 30 or 40 for other companies.
Great. So since you are an actor and a producer, how do you look at actors in a production mindset? So like when you're calling people in to come in and audition, what are you looking at on a resume or a headshot? What makes you bring someone in, or how do you discover new talent? That is a lot of questions.
No worries, I got you. Because at the end of the day, it's a very simple answer. I look for professionals. And when I say professionals, it doesn't mean you have to have a resume that's 100 credits long. You could have 3 credits, but you come in and represent yourself professionally. You come in and you have your headshot, you have your resume formatted properly, stapled together. You come in, you've clearly read the sides, made some choices, and give us a confident and prepared read. You know how to say goodbye and leave in a professional manner.
Without it being awkward.
Wait,
Right.
okay, so on that,
Yeah.
what's an unprofessional example?
Generally, unprofessional is meaning you come in, you're not prepared. So, I just got this on my way here.
Yeah.
Well, then call and try and get a time change so you can come in and be prepared. Or come in and sign in our lobby and say, hey, listen, I just got it. In the lobby, say, I just got it. Can I have a half hour? We'll probably give it to you. Or an hour. Sometimes I'll say, hey, go away for an hour and come back. We want you prepared. There's no point in coming in the room if you're not prepared, period.
Right.
So those are the basics of professionalism, is have your headshot, have your resume. And I know a lot of electronic systems, they may not ask for a headshot and resume, but you should have one in case they do.
Always have a headshot resume.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's these little basic things. And then the other side of professionalism is be polite, be nice, be professional. This is a place of business. A set is a place of business. Don't scream and yell at people. Don't talk down to PAs. Just be a professional across the board. And you'd be surprised, it's not necessarily the norm.
No.
And it's kind of sad.
Right.
So my thing is, if I see that you can't be professional when we're giving you an opportunity to read for the job, it tells me that when you get the job, you're going to be even worse.
Worse. Yep.
So why would I ever want to turn you over to the directors who trust me, to the producers who trust me, and to the production teams that I have to live with all the time?
Do you have any horror stories from the audition?
Yeah,
there?
we want horror
Just
stories.
one really juicy one. Anything?
I did have one where, here's the thing. You prepare, you as an actor, you go, you do your work, you prepare it, you think, you spent your time on it, you think this is how it should be. You might do it perfect, you might do it completely wrong. I'm going to always give you a redirect. If you don't agree with my redirect and you want to ask questions so you can understand what I'm asking for, that's great.
Right.
But if you totally disagree with my redirect, I may not be redirecting you because this is the way it should be. I just want to see if you're willing to take direction.
Yes.
Because if you
Absolutely.
won't take it before you have the job, you're not going to take it from my director. Because if you can't at least play and try things and can't take direction, I can't turn you over to my producers.
Good note.
Ever. Or my
Absolutely.
directors.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, good note.
So you are in charge of securing star names, but you also do oversee other roles, filling them in. How do you find new actors? Do you do workshops? Do you pull from a pool of people you already know?
Do you teach classes?
I personally don't do workshops. It's just such a controversial thing, and I, as an actor myself, I have a love for actors, so I want to try and find other ways where they don't have to pay me to come in and help them.
Right.
Like here.
Yeah, exactly. I always encourage people doing their own thing. You guys are great. You're doing your own show. I encourage actors to write, to get in, produce their own little things. I don't care if it's a 7-second Vine video or if they're doing full web series or if they can raise money and do a film. I highly encourage that. But you have to put people around you that you trust so that you don't get caught in like one view. And that team extends to actors. So actors need to understand that when you show up and you're professional, you become part of what can be part of our team. And we may not put you on every movie, but when, as a casting person and as a producer, we just want solutions.
Right.
If we see 40 people for a role, I want the first 5 to be solutions, so the rest of my day's easy. Truthfully, I want every single one of them to be a solution.
Right.
Primarily, the way that we get our talent is through breakdown services. We do use Casting Frontier as well. Occasionally, we use LA Casting if we're really hard trying to find something very specific. But that's why it's important for your electronic profile to be a great representation of you.
And I think it's great that you actually open it up to actor submissions where most casting directors just go through breakdowns, which for our audience, if you don't know, a lot of times casting directors put out breakdown out and it's open just to managers and agents to submit.
That's on
However,
a site called Breakdown Services.
Right.
However, there's Actors Access, which is available for any actor.
who signed up, right.
Yeah, monthly fee or whatever, but it's not much, and you get to.
And it's the
submit
same
things.
company,
So,
Breakdown Services and
same
Actors
company.
Access.
Same
Yeah.
company, right.
So do you pull a lot of people then from Actors Access?
Oh, routinely. I mean, part of what I want to do is discover new talent. Part of what I want to do is give people a break. I needed a break, and somebody gave me a break.
That's great.
so-
So you paying it forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. But that's part of my job, number one. But it's part of what I want to do. When I need, I mean, there's still breaks that I need. I'm trying to get into places that I can't get into. You know what I mean, Mr. Tarantino. But there's
He's
you know,
watching this, definitely.
You better be.
but there's places that I'm trying to get into that I can't get into that I just need an opportunity. So what kind of human being would I be if I didn't turn around and try to give opportunities to other people when I'm in a position to do so?
Do you watch demo reels?
Yes, I do watch demo reels, but it really depends. I mean, photos are going to sell you more than anything for us. I'm going to look at your photo, and then I'm going to look at multiple of your photos to make sure like that one isn't like
A baby photo.
yeah, like
right.
well, no. If you have one great photo, I'm going to look at the rest to make sure that you look like you.
Okay.
Because if I see this great photo and in the next 5 photos you look like you're 35 years older, then something's not matching up.
Right.
And then I'll take a quick look at your resume. And if you have big credits, that's great, but you don't have to have big credits. I just want to see that you're out there working. I try to see if you're in class. I don't really care who you're in class with as long as you're studying.
You're
Right.
Yeah.
And then if I'm on the fence, I'll watch your video, your demo reel.
Right.
But usually you'll get an audition from us based on your photo and your resume.
So you cast in LA, obviously, but you also cast in a lot of different markets, being the Southeast and all over. How is the experience different there? Do you see a lot of local casting or local talent, or do you take self-tapes from LA?
It's a little different, depends on the locale. When we cast out of Seattle, it was pretty much Seattle and Spokane and whoever
Vancouver,
the local.
maybe.
So you're not booking LA people and taking them out, right?
On a rare occasion, but usually when you cast locally, you want to hire locally. But now, so many actors are mobile where they're like, I'll come work local.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I work
actually,
local all over
can
the
you
United
explain
States.
what local hire
Yes,
is
please.
to work as local hire is?
So SAG, for SAG purposes, when we offer a contract, we can offer a straight contract, which means if we're filming out, if I say I offer a contract to a star, they're gonna get a regular contract from us, which means we're going to travel, we're gonna pay for their travel, put them up, give them a per diem, which is like a daily rate for them to buy food and things like that. And we're gonna cover all those expenses and bring them out.
In addition to their salary.
In addition to their salary. If we hire an actor as a local hire, it means wherever we're shooting, you're working there as if you live on that location, which means we don't have to travel you, we don't have to put you up, we don't have to pay you per diem. It's really a budget like that. It's a budgetary issue for productions. But also now, because there's, California just hasn't gotten it right, and they're letting productions run out of town left and right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really good actors in the Southeast. There's a lot of really good actors in North Carolina, of course in New York. And actors are spreading out, even in Austin. There's great actors there. So we will hire people as local hires in those locales.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Have you ever booked anybody straight from tape?
I do look at unsolicited tape. If you can get the sides and put it on tape, myself or one of my associates will probably take a look at it. But not always. It really depends on what our timeline is.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Any last bits of advice or tips you want to say?
For actors who are new to LA?
So yeah, for people who are new to LA, I have 3 really basic pieces of advice.
Okay.
3. Yes.
Get a job as quickly as you can that's flexible, and make sure you keep having money coming in so that you can stay here, because you're going to have to put out a lot of money for headshots, classes, all these things. Get a job. Don't ever not have a job. Hopefully it's something flexible so that you can stay here. Part of it is staying here long enough for you to get up to speed and for the opportunities to open up for you. And having a job will make that easier. Second thing is always be in class, which that job will help you do because you can pay for your classes. Always be in class. Unless you are a series regular working on a show or you are on movies all the time working on location or whatever, if you're a developmental actor, there is no excuse not to be studying and getting better at what you do. You don't get better at this by not doing it for a week, 2 weeks, a month, or whatever. And honestly, when you stop, the competition keeps training and gets better.
Right.
So always stay in class. Number 3, you have to learn to be honest with yourself. You have to learn to be honest with yourself about where you're at in your development as an actor. You have to learn to be honest with yourself about, is the reality of what being an actor what you really want? Because so many times people fall in love with the red carpet and the idea of being famous and the idea of being rich. None of that is the job of being an actor.
Absolutely not.
So you have to be honest about, hey, am I looking for something else? And I think that those things are going to give me that validation I need in my life. And I don't mean this in a demeaning way. Maybe you need to go back and deal with your family relationships. Maybe maybe you need to find what you really love. It may not be acting. And that's okay if you choose something different, but you have to find a way to be honest with yourself. And you have to be honest with yourself on, are you really giving it, if you really love this, are you really giving it everything that you need to give it?
Okay, so if our guests want to check out what you're working on or keep up to date with you, do you have a Twitter account?
Yeah.
Do you have a Facebook page? Do you have a website? Tell us where we can see
I
you.
have a bunch of stuff. I'm very active on social media. On Twitter, I'm at Gerald Webb.
Great.
With 2 B's. Facebook, it's facebook.com/the Gerald Webb.
Okay.
And I have a website, geraldwebb.com.
Great.
It's social media is kind of taking over everything, so my
it's
website's
crazy.
kind of just there.
Yeah.
But I interact with a lot of people on those kind of sites. It's not the place to ask me for an audition. We can talk about things, but it's not the place to ask me for an audition. I don't do any casting via social networks. I do it through professional networks because I want to deal with professionals.
Right. Good for you. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you
the
very much.
couch.
Yep.
Thank you very much. for
And
being
thank
here.
you for tuning in this week. I'm Todd Stroik at Todd Stroik on Twitter.
I'm Katie Seeley at _Katie Seeley on Twitter.
And please don't forget to like our Facebook page, The Casting Couch Show.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, please click below and subscribe to our channel. And you'll
Subscribe it out. Yeah, that's right.
see all these awesome interviews.
That's right. Once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time on The Casting Couch.
Sparkles and flashes in California. Paper horse and playboys pump me full of celluloid. We keep it tight almost every night. Red carpet style in the door to fight.